What if the plastic wrapped around your lunch is not just polluting the ocean, but quietly collecting inside one of your most critical digestive fluids? A 2026 study published in Environmental Science and Ecotechnology found plastic particles inside human bile for the first time. The researchers detected polyethylene, polypropylene, and PET fragments in bile samples taken during gallbladder surgery, and what they found happening to the cells lining those bile ducts should concern everyone who eats or drinks from plastic containers.
Welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. Stay informed with quick, easy-to-listen summaries of our latest articles, perfect for when you're on the go. No reading required. Subscribe for free at Mercola.com for the latest health insights.
Hello and welcome to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. To understand why this matters, you need to understand what bile actually does. Bile is produced by the liver and stored in the gallbladder. It gets released into the small intestine to help break down and absorb fats and fat-soluble nutrients. But bile also serves as a major detoxification pathway.
Dr. Mercola explains that the liver filters blood arriving from the portal vein, which carries everything absorbed from the gut, including nutrients, medications, and contaminants. When the liver encounters fat-soluble toxins, it concentrates them into bile for excretion. The problem is that microplastics behave like fat-soluble contaminants in this environment, so bile collects and concentrates them rather than eliminating them efficiently.
The particle sizes found in the study ranged from 20 to 500 micrometers. That is small enough to interact directly with cellular structures, but large enough to physically obstruct bile duct function. These are not trace amounts of an inert material passing harmlessly through the body.
The real damage happens at the cellular level. The researchers demonstrated that microplastics in bile caused measurable mitochondrial dysfunction in bile duct epithelial cells. Specifically, they reduced ATP production, which is your cellular energy currency, and increased reactive oxygen species, the destructive molecules that damage DNA, proteins, and cell membranes when they accumulate.
Dr. Mercola highlights that the cellular damage goes even further. The study found that microplastics triggered cellular senescence in bile duct tissue. Senescence is essentially premature aging at the cellular level. The affected cells showed increased expression of P21 and P16, which are well-established senescence markers.
When cells become senescent, they stop dividing, but they do not die. Instead, they release inflammatory signals that damage neighboring healthy cells, creating a cascade of tissue deterioration. Finding this process actively occurring in bile duct tissue because of plastic contamination is a significant finding.
The sources of exposure are disturbingly ordinary. Plastic food packaging, bottled water, synthetic clothing fibers, food processing equipment, tea bags, seafood, and tap water all contribute microplastic particles to your daily intake.
And these plastics do not arrive alone. Dr. Mercola points out that they carry adsorbed chemicals on their surfaces, including BPA, phthalates, PFAS, and heavy metals. Once concentrated in bile, these chemicals leach into surrounding tissue, compounding the damage beyond what the plastic particles themselves cause.
What makes the gut-liver-bile axis so important is that it represents both the primary exposure pathway and the most logical point of intervention. Everything you swallow passes through the gut, gets filtered by the liver, and enters bile.
Dr. Mercola explains that reducing your input is the most effective first step. Switching from plastic food containers to glass or stainless steel, filtering your drinking water, never heating food in plastic, and choosing natural fiber clothing over synthetics. All reduce the volume of microplastics entering your digestive tract.
Supporting the body's natural elimination pathways is the other side of the equation. Dr. Mercola recommends strategies that support detoxification, including maintaining adequate glutathione levels and consuming sufficient dietary fiber, which binds bile and promotes its excretion.
Sauna sessions also support elimination through the skin. The fiber connection is especially relevant because soluble fiber binds bile acids in the intestine and carries them out, which forces the liver to produce fresh bile and may help reduce the accumulated plastic burden over time.
The broader implication of this research is that plastic contamination is no longer just an environmental issue. It is a cellular health issue happening inside your body right now. The mitochondrial damage and premature cellular aging documented in this study affect the very tissue responsible for processing and eliminating toxins. When that tissue is compromised, the body's ability to handle all fat-soluble contaminants diminishes.
Dr. Mercola emphasizes that this is why reducing exposure matters more than any single supplement or protocol. The body has sophisticated elimination systems, but Those systems cannot keep up when the daily input of plastic particles overwhelms their capacity.
Head to mer-cola.com to read the full article on how microplastics accumulate in bile and the specific steps you can take to reduce your exposure and support your body's natural detoxification pathways. Drop a comment. What is the one plastic item in your kitchen you are ready to replace with glass or stainless steel today? Thank you for listening to Dr. Mercola's Cellular Wisdom. See you in the next episode.
Looking for trusted health wisdom you can hold in your hands? Discover the life-changing books of Dr. Mercola at joyhousepublishing.com. These titles bring decades of natural health research into practical steps for better energy, stronger immunity, and clearer thinking. Take charge of your health with guidance rooted in science and experience. Visit joyhousepublishing.com now and claim your bonuses while they are available.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.